Welcome to the What Puzzle channel. Today we will learn about the terrible wolf Canis dirus, and we will discuss the danger of bringing it back to life again and its effect on nature. Don't forget to subscribe and like to continue for more. Thank you. In a world where extinction was once final, science has rewritten the rules of life. From ancient DNA buried deep in frozen earth, a predator has returned. A wolf unlike any that roam our forests today. Stronger, wilder, smarter. This is not folklore. This is the return of the terrible wolf. It all began in a high-security lab, where geneticists isolated the ancient DNA of a prehistoric wolf species once feared by early humans. A species that vanished 10,000 years ago due to climate change and human expansion. Using advanced gene editing tools like CRISPR and cloning technologies perfected from de-extincting mammoths and dodos, scientists reconstructed a viable embryo. Inside a surrogate mother Ann, Arctic gray wolf the embryo grew, and one winter morning, under the pale light of artificial dawn, the terrible wolf was born. It wasn't just a scientific milestone, it was the rebirth of a species that had long haunted the collective memory of our ancestors. But science had only done half the job. Now came the real challenge, releasing the wolf into the wild. The first wolf was released in a vast protected biosphere in the Canadian wilderness. Equipped with a GPS collar and under constant observation, it was monitored around the clock. At first, it struggled. The ecosystem had changed. Prey was different. Territory was unfamiliar, but instincts coded in ancient genes kicked in. The terrible wolf began to hunt. Deer, elk, even bears avoided it. Not just a predator, but a superpredator. Its keen senses, powerful jaws, and advanced pack strategies gave it an edge over every living competitor. The forest, once quiet, began to shift. Fear returned to the food chain. At first, conservationists celebrated the terrible wolf-controlled deer populations that were overgrazing forests. Rivers began to heal. Birds returned. Biodiversity bloomed. But it didn't stop there. The wolves spread quickly. Packs formed. Their range expanded. Moose, bison, even livestock became targets. Farmers complained. Hunters protested. Local ecosystems began to change too fast. These wolves didn't just fill a niche. They created a new one with no balance. Some animals fled, others went extinct. Within 5 years, the terrible wolf was no longer just a scientific marvel, it had become an ecological force. Then came the first attack. A rural Canadian town reported a missing child. Later, evidence linked it to a rogue, terrible wolf pack. Media exploded. The public, once fascinated, now feared what they helped bring back. Protests erupted outside research. Labs, nature has rules, some shouted. Man shouldn't play God. Governments imposed restrictions. Some called for extermination, but the wolves were spreading into Alaska, Russia, Scandinavia. They crossed frozen rivers, traveled hundreds of miles, unstoppable, unpredictable, and perhaps unstoppable. The return of the terrible wolf sparked a global debate. Should we revive extinct species at all? What happens when the wild we bring back is too wild for the world we live in? Some argued for coexistence, proposing large wilderness zones. Others insisted on containment or termination. But the truth was clear. Once nature gets a second chance, it doesn't ask for permission. We had opened the gates of the past, and the future was now shaped by its bite. The terrible wolf walks the earth again. A symbol of scientific power and a warning. Nature never forgets. And when we summon the ghosts of the past, we must be ready to live with them. This was the story of the terrible wolf.